He's American man.
Welcome to the Wrestling Junkeez podcast. Today we're diving deep into the life and career of one of wrestling's biggest icons, the immortal Hulk Hogan. From his rise in the AWA and Hulkamania and WWF, his Hollywood ventures and controversial moments that shook his legacy, we're covering it all today. Let's get real about the legend and the man behind the red and the yellow. How you doing, guys?
So it was a sad day in wrestling, for sure.
Not for black people. No offense. Sorry, I just had to throw it out there because there's a lot of people that are still hating on Hogan being racist. Got to put it out there.
But it's because there's a lot of black people that don't care.
There is a lot of black people that don't care. They're actually still fans of Hogan, even though he had his shit. A lot of them are actually respecting that he's 10 toes down with his racism. He didn't backtrack, and they respect that. Like, he never took it back. He owned up as a man. He said his shit. And, I mean, the whole society's kind of fucking him on that, but that's something I'm really sad about. I felt like he really tarnished himself from being so open-minded of his own ways that it kind of fucked him, but, it made me be conflicted about him. I mean, as his wrestling career, he's great. Like, little tribute for him on SmackDown was a tearjerker a little bit for me. I had to, really, go back and realize, fuck! This guy is so much. He's so influential for us. Like, you can't fucking dodge that, bro.
He's the greatest. I mean, you really think about it. I don't think nobody's got this much exposure, so much outpouring from the fans. Not even fans. People that you don't even realize watched wrestling. I saw my Instagram coming from different people that you didn't even know watched wrestling. I had people reaching out, man, I can't believe he died. I used to watch him when I was a kid. And these are people that you wouldn't even think that they were into wrestling. However, he was part of their childhood. Everybody's childhood. From 84 on till 2025. He was relevant. He changed himself when he went to WCW. I mean, he's a household name. We wouldn't have wrestling today. We wouldn't have WrestleMania without Hulkamania. We wouldn't have wrestling, period. And I'm glad that all the wrestlers from John Cena to Edge, all of them were childhood heroes. That was their guy. And for him to get acknowledged as that, as the GOAT, I mean, that's just fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you think about it, if it weren't for Greg Gagne and Vern Gagne dropping the ball with Hulk Hogan against Nick Bockwinkel, they didn't believe in Hogan. They didn't think he would be a star. They just thought he was another name to feed to Bockwinkel, their champion, and he left. He didn't see anything for him. I think they ended up letting him... No, they didn't let him go, because I know they were upset he didn't do business the right way on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
He
went to New York.
All of his states, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went over to the WWF with Vince Sr. And they were pushing him for a little bit there. And then the opportunity for Rocky 3 came up. And Vince Sr. did not want to lose Hogan. He did not want him to go into Hollywood. He wanted him for the wrestling business himself. And Hogan said, no, I'm going. If you got to fire me, fire me. But I'm going, and I'm going to do this movie. And it was probably the best career choice of his life at that time, because that made him just such an even bigger star going back to the WWF, going with Vince Jr. now as the head of the WWF. And he was a bona fide Hollywood star at that point.
Mm-hmm. It brought new insights to wrestling, because no wrestler had ever went to Hollywood before. Maybe as a little scene here and there.
Roddy Piper.
Not to that magnitude.
Not as a major player. Not as a... He was a co-star of that movie.
Mm-hmm.
You had Stallone. You had Hogan. Equals in that movie.
and it brought that mainstream light to wrestling. And it was never there because if you really think about it, wrestling before was small venues, smoky arenas. Hogan brought that to the
Territorial.
Coliseums big time.
It was all territories.
If it wasn't for Hogan, we would not have all these events. Wrestling, I mean, yeah, okay. I always say wrestling has got way better over time due to the athleticism. However, the 80s was the golden era. That era boomed wrestling. And if we didn't have the 80s, I guarantee this podcast would not be here today. There would be no WrestleMania. And
I do think wrestling would have continued on. It would not have been as big as it was. It probably would have still stayed a territory system.
Mhm.
I think we would have had still a WWF, but it would not be the conglomeration that it is today. It would not have gone national without Hulk Hogan with Vince McMahon at his side. I think it was a
100%.
joint operation. If Hulkamania never blew up in the WWF, and he stayed in the AWA in the Indies, not the Indies, but the territories,
Mhm.
there definitely would have been no way the WWF could have gone national.
Mm-mm.
And all the things that he did for that company, rock and wrestling, all the music videos, all the little things that he did outside of the WWF.
He was the first person to ever have a cartoon.
Yeah,
he was the first.
The videotape as a kid.
Yeah,
he was all the time.
He had the first figure. He was the first action figure for them.
He was one of the first people to have entrance music as well, and have it be a big deal. I mean, coming out to Eye of the Tiger.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big deal.
He did it all. I mean, it sucks because, yeah, there is, obviously shit that happened later in life for him and it tarnished his reputation. However, everybody fucks up. Simple as that. You really reflect on the good times. Like what's crazy was, like I said, you forget how many people this man touched from being a little kid to, my aunt reached out to me. So my cousin passed away when we were 20 years old. My aunt remembered. She goes, "Oh, that was his favorite wrestler." You imagine how many memories you have as a kid.
A lot of my childhood friends hit me up.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my middle school friends hit me up, called me, "Hey man, remember those days?" They had to reminisce right quick about the days we watched so many wrestling at my house, pay-per-views, and it's like there it goes, one of the last big names. I mean, shit, we got Ric Flair right there in the corner, and the cuts hanging on for his life.
Flair's going any day now. He was on Busted Open, and he was already drunk. You could just tell the way he was just talking. He was drunk as fuck, bro.
Yeah, they had a good friendship over the years, and that's one thing you don't really, because remember when we were younger, kayfabe was a big part of wrestling for us. So, hey, you didn't think he got along with Ted DiBiase. He didn't get along with Bobby Heenan. Ted DiBiase said that he was the reason why he came to the WWF.
There's a lot of guys.
There's a lot of guys. Mean Gene.
Listening all day, fucking on that day he passed, and Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 on Sirius XM was all day for Hogan. They had all these guests coming on, and
he did business.
One of them, Hogan brought me back.
Mm-hmm.
Hogan wanted me in the main event. Hogan paid me back for this. Hogan was awesome to me outside of wrestling. Hogan just wanted to be one of the boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Teddy Long came out and did the interview. Said he was nothing but good to him. He goes, "I will always respect that man." It's really crazy, I mean, it's the end of an era for sure. That was the last WWF and the first WWE champion. That was perfect for him.
And yes, Hogan was flawed. Terry Bollea was flawed.
Mm-hmm.
He played a lot of politics. He liked to embellish a lot of stories, for sure. Talking about I was going to be the bass player for Metallica, things like that. Pulling the stunt he did with The Undertaker and the Tombstone when Undertaker was first coming up.
You got me, brother.
He did a lot of shitty stuff. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. I am on the fence for Hogan. I wasn't that sad. I'm sorry to say it. I didn't tear up with the Hogan tribute. I respect him a little bit more, knowing what the boys have said about him. A lot of guys have said about things that he has done for them. You know, he brought Slaughter back for that fucking feud. Vince wanted Tugboat. He wanted Earthquake. And Hogan said, no, I want Slaughter. Bring Slaughter back and I'll do the program.
And that says a lot because that was before creative control. You imagine Vince would have said, shot him down. However, he knew how to draw business. He's the reason why that to this day they could say that's the house that Hogan built. He knew how to do it.
And a lot of people, speaking of the house too, a lot of people were saying they looked forward to seeing if they were on the same bill as Hogan because they knew that house would be twice as big and the payday would be twice as big for them as well.
Mm-hmm.
And even Bret Hart, the man that fucking hates Hogan almost as much as everybody else, he even had to admit in his book, every time I was on a bill with Hogan, I made sure to go up to him after the match, after the show, and say thank you for the house.
That's draw power
Hogan had in this industry.
No. And that's, well, I hate to say it, that's one of the things that I'm going to regret because, all of us are getting older now. And, I just went to go see Bret Hart. I was actually planning to go to Florida this year to go to Clearwater and actually go see him. Yeah, that was going to be my 41st birthday present to myself. And, it sucks because that's one of the persons that I never got to meet. However, I did see him, but never got to shake his hand and say thank you. Thank you for giving me fucking the best childhood. Thank you for making me sit in front of the TV, watch you beat countless individuals. There was a time in everybody's life when you were that kid and he was God. He was larger than life.
Thank you for beating up a lot of Mexicans on NWO and WCW. Spray painting yellow all up in their back. Thank you, Hulk Hogan. That's where the racism started. It was an NWO. Beating up on the cruiserweight division. Thank you, Hogan.
Launching Rey Mysterio into the
that was Kevin
Nash. That was
that was Nash. Like a torpedo. Fuck.
Hey man, he put over Kidman. He didn't go anywhere, but he tried.
He put over Jeff Jarrett too.
That was an interesting thing to happen.
That was awesome. I love that one.
But that's another thing too. Look at how he reinvented himself as the NWO, as Hollywood Hogan.
Yes.
He was getting stale as the red and yellow. He knew it. He said, hey, times are changing. And like I said, without the NWO, there is no Bullet Club. There is no DX. No.
That whole sign is the friendship between those guys. That's all it was. That Bullet Club sign, that was between a little group of friends, a clique.
Yep.
And it grew from DX to NWO, and then it became like the epidemic with the Bullet Club and the whole indie.
Some of the Bullet Club guys actually got Razor and Diesel's approval. They're okay to use the symbol.
It's crazy.
There goes one of our fathers of wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the original NWO, the original three, all we have left is Kevin Nash.
That's it.
That's it. And you go back. I saw a picture of the first 10 WrestleMania main events, and I think we only have one person alive. I think it might be Bret Hart.
Bret Hart. That's it.
I think that's it. From the first 10 WrestleMania events, that's the only person that's left alive.
Damn.
Really, you think about it, all our greats are gone. Macho Man, Piper, Andre.
Well, I was just thinking about this last night. I was like, fuck. Gene Okerlund, gone. He was, to me, Gene Okerlund was synonymous with Hulk Hogan. I don't know why. I just felt like those two, that was Hogan's best interviewer.
Let me tell you, Mean Gene. That's one of his fucking famous lines, dude.
And did you know that he gave him the name Mean Gene?
I did not.
He was always Gene Okerlund. That was it. And if it wasn't for Hogan, there would be no Mean Gene.
And he wasn't even mean.
He wasn't. He was off camera though. Mean Gene
He
was
was
a fucking fun.
he was
Off
hilarious. He
camera.
was a drunk.
He was a drunk.
Yeah, he was a fucking drunk. Go on the Legends of Wrestling, the House of Red Legends.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he makes a drink called the Okerlin, and he gave it to what's her name,
Hey, was he in the
Moxley's
Legends
wife.
house?
Oh, Renee.
Yeah, and she just drinks it. You could just see her face. She's like, he's just drinking it all like nonchalant, and she's like, "Foof," making faces and shit. He goes, "That's an Okerlin for you."
Was he in the Legends house?
Yeah,
Yeah.
him, Pat Patterson,
Yeah.
Rowdy,
Dude, that was an
Hillbilly
epic
Jim.
show.
That was a
I
badass
fucking love
show.
I love Legends house.
That was a good show.
It was a one and doneer.
They had 2 seasons, didn't they? They had 2 seasons.
One.
No.
One. It was.
That's it. I could have
Yeah.
sworn
There was one season.
It should have been
I wish
2 or 3 because it was fucking hilarious.
Fuck yeah. They
Yeah,
gave
but
up on that too.
Yeah.
The only thing that took off from that whole shit was the Divas. Total Divas is the only thing that took off from the reality shows from the network.
They need to bring back Story Time. Story Time was badass.
Oh yes, Storytime was great.
What is your guys' favorite moments of Hogan's career?
Mine, if you don't mind me starting, I mean I just saw it earlier and it kind of got me sad. It's him seeing that little kid, the little white kid that's always imitating him.
Oh, yeah.
He grew up and like Roe or something. His name was Roe
Oh,
something.
yeah, I think it was Roe. Yeah.
Yeah, those were fucking always heartfelt, bro. Like he always like entertained the little kids, but that one like stood out so much because I think in due time, through time, the kid got older and Hogan still kept the relationship with that kid.
Yeah.
Like, so that's one of my favorites. I like his interaction with the kids was my favorite.
The people that Hogan really liked and cared about, he was really good to them, from what I've gathered from all the guys. Bully Ray said he ended up getting an actual friendship with Hogan. Hogan would invite him to this house. Like, he had beachfront property. They're doing boat racing. Hogan invited him over. And one time he was there with his buddies, and Hogan was showing his cars, and one of his buddies like, "Oh, what's this over here?" And it was like it was a souped-up SUV. I don't remember what the fuck Bully said it was. Hogan was like, "Yeah, you guys don't want to sit inside. You never sit outside. You never checked it out. Let's go ahead." They're sitting inside, and Hogan goes, "Hey, Bully, the keys are in the ignition. Go ahead." He let him take it for a fucking joyride. Just no big deal. $100,000 truck. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at Flair. What he said. He said, Hogan gave him money. He helped him out with Reed. He was the first person to wake up to the hospital when he came to. Hogan was there. Charlotte Flair said that she really thanked him for being by her dad's side. I mean, there's a lot of things that you're not gonna, it's going to come to light obviously later on because there's a lot of shit that we didn't know about. He did behind the scenes. Obviously, we saw the character of with the 24-inch pythons, the vitamins, the prayers, but there's a lot more to behind the scenes that are. I mean, it's going to come to light. All the shit he did for a lot of people. Obviously, he did bad. We're not going to say he didn't, but he did a lot of good while he was in this world too.
His bad was dope bad though. Other than the racism, he had some cool bad, like having his porno. That was cool. He really didn't do bad, bro. Other than him getting caught talking in private.
He fucked up, yeah.
It's the politics too. A lot of people don't want to forgive him for the politics, but dude, everybody fucking politics in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah,
the biggest fucking star in the world. Let's say I would say he's probably the biggest wrestling star in the world to the day.
And gatekeeping
in general entertainment, he's the biggest star because you can put him in any situation. And I get what's funny is I remember before when I used to talk about, I remember when they're like, "Oh, you're into wrestling." That's the first thing people would say. "Oh, the Hulk Hogan thing." They never said WWF. "Oh, you like that fucking fake wrestling? You like that Hulk Hogan shit?" Yes, it was never WWF. It was never. "Oh, you like that Hulk Hogan shit?" that is the first name when you think of when it comes to professional wrestling is Hulk Hogan.
And you know, back then, like when everyone said he was a gatekeeper, dude, like wrestling was so competitive before. You had to gatekeep your spot. You know, you had to keep your spot. So they did anything and everything to stay up top. So you can't hate on that. It's not like now where they're all playing video games together, like fucking doing YouTube together. Back then, it was like more of a competitive to stay on top.
Yeah, and he did stay on top. Look at what he did with the Warrior. He said that he'll never forget. Obviously, he put him over. He goes, more people were looking at me leave than him raising the belt. He goes, he knew right when he got the 1, 2, 3, and he was walking down the aisle, people were staring at him versus the ring. He goes, right when I got back to Gorilla, I told Vince, it's not going to work. And they look at what happened. They took the belt off of him, put it on Slaughter. Hogan came back and drew money again. It's crazy.
Yeah. Nobody until Austin could take over that mantle that Hogan had.
Mm-hmm.
They tried with numerous people, and it didn't work with anybody.
I think Brett did a good job holding the torch. Brett did a good job. It was that new era, but
it never got to that level though of Hogan.
Mm-mm.
And Hogan wasn't wanted to. They didn't want to use Hogan at that time. That's why Brett was champion, because Vince was trying to phase out into the newer generation.
Mm-hmm. And then
still don't forgive fucking Hogan for over Bret at WrestleMania 9 though. It's gonna stick with me, man, because I'm a big Bret Hart guy, and that was my dude.
Yeah.
After Hogan, after I grew up a little bit, I was a little Hulkamaniac, and then started getting to Bret and Shawn, and those were my dudes. And what he fucking did to Bret at WrestleMania 9 really made me mad.
Yeah.
Because he told Bret, yeah, man, no, we're gonna give the belt back to you. Just need to do this, and never happened. He was supposed to he was supposed to go over. He was supposed to put Bret over, and he never did.
Yeah, him and Yoko worked for about a year, and then the belt went back to Yokozuna. But you see how much draw power he had. Look when he came back with The Rock. Obviously The Rock was supposed to be over that match.
Instagram, unedited footage of that match right at the end.
How much fucking was the crowd torn between Hogan and The Rock? Yes, wow is the right word. A fucking wow.
But at the end of that match, it was all Hogan.
Did you see when he came back to fight Triple H for the undisputed title? When he brought back the red and the yellow? Look at that video. Hunter Triple H is smiling in the ring. That pop was huge when he came back. He just, like I said, he was just a different breed. He will always be the GOAT. Simple as that. They were talking about the Mount Rushmore of wrestling. Guarantee everyone will always say Hogan as their number one or in the top 4 of that Mount Rushmore.
It's our generation. From our generation and older, I think it's still Hogan.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he could go. I mean, if you look at his matches in Japan, it was a different style. He could actually wrestle.
He's great.
What's crazy, obviously, when you come to WWE/WWF, you have your moveset. You have the leg drop, you have the big boot. However, look at the matches with him and the Great Muta. He could actually drop toe. He can go. It's just obviously it was a different atmosphere in WWE. It was more, hey, flex, hit, drop. Okay, let's go home.
Yeah, they have their own structure.
He didn't need to wrestle in the WWF. He was an attraction. He wasn't there to be a wrestler.
Yep. And you think about obviously now it's a lot different, but there was no, the word is gaijin, there was no white people or outsiders winning the IWGP back in the day. There was how many people it was him, Vader, Brock. Yeah, he was one of the very first ones to win it. Now, obviously, you have outsiders coming in from different promotions, but he was one of the very first ones to win it. And that says a lot for someone else to come into your territory.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen that promo he cut where he's actually talking about the IWG title being more important to him than the WWF.
The WWE, yep. Said this is a plastic? What did he say? This is a toy or something. I forgot what he said. Yeah.
he was saying that meant way more to him. And like the WWF was like, basically he kind of called it like a gimmick.
Yeah, it's crazy. It sucks, like I said. I think I'm one of the biggest Hogan marks out there, it sucks. It really does. Like, that's one I always tell people that's why did you get into wrestling? Because of Hulk Hogan. If it was from his promos to you believe that nobody could beat this guy. This guy was larger than life.
Come on, man. He would Hulk up, bro. You couldn't fuck him up. When he started hulking up, it was over. And then you went, ooh. When he pointed at you,
because of the
you're done.
Ganyas, I believe they told him to start hulking up. They told him, "Hey, man, when you're making your comeback, you just need to do something. Move your arms around, get animated, because you're boring."
Yeah, Vern Gagne is he's the one that actually set him up for success. It's just Vince saw him as the bigger attraction and put more money into him. Basically, bet the house on the guy. But yeah, he even says Vern Gagne was like, "We're the ones that taught him how to pose. We told him what to say." It's just Vince. He struck with iron was hot, and that shit did not stop for how many years.
I mean, this story that Bill Apter told kind of goes to show you what kind of a person he was outside of wrestling. Back in the day, when Vince Sr. was doing WWF and pushing Hogan, he banned anybody else outside of the company from being able to take pictures at the events. So no paparazzi, no media were allowed to take the pictures. They could be at the event, but you can't take pictures. So after the event, Hogan calls up Bill Apter. He had his phone number. He said, "Hey, brother, did you see the show?" And he said, "Yeah, I was there. I'm going home right now." He said, "I want you to come back to the hotel and take some pictures." And he said, "Well, won't you get in trouble with Vince? Vince doesn't want you. The old man doesn't want you to take pictures. Doesn't want us taking pictures." He said, "I need you at the hotel." He said he let him stay there for about 2 hours and just take massive amount of photos of Hogan with him. But this is after he won the belt from Iron Sheik, the exact same night. Brought him back to the hotel room, let him take all the pictures, and then before he left, he said, "Hey, brother, I got one more thing for you, just to thank you for everything you've done for me." And he gave him the headband that he had that night against the Iron Sheik. And Apter said, "I've never gotten it signed until about a year ago, or at the Raw 30 reunion. So I finally met up with Hogan again, and he signed it for me after all these years." He still has it.
Look at the Rock story.
There's a picture.
The Rock, he actually gave The Rock one of his very first headbands. So Rock was actually in the crowd as a kid. He threw it to Hogan.
I know the story.
Yeah, he threw his headband to The Rock, caught him backstage, walked up to him and said, "Hey, sorry, little guy, I need that headband back." He was like, "It's a prototype." I guess he was going through numerous.
I heard that Rock gave it back to him willingly.
Yes, well, because he told him straight out. He goes, "Hey, this is the only one I have." He goes, I need these to make numerous copies." So he goes, "But I'll get you a new one." He said, couple months later, he gets those signed in the mail, autographed from Hulk Hogan. He goes, "I'll never forget that." And and look at The Rock. Look what he turned out to be. Also one of the greatest wrestlers. So you imagine that story. He tells people that, "Hey, this one of my childhood heroes gave me this." I mean, that's incredible, because without that headband, I guarantee. Obviously, The Rock had his dad. He idolized his dad as a wrestler. But you imagine, everybody was a Hulkamaniac back then. Every single, I guarantee, in the locker room today, Bobby Roode just said that he was a Hulkamaniac. The Dolph Ziggler, then John Cena, Edge was huge. He goes, "I got to tag team with him and be a champion with him." It's crazy, because you think about that. All the wrestlers, I guarantee, as of today, look at AJ Styles, got to work with him at a TNA. I mean, the list just keeps growing and growing. And I guarantee at one point or another, everybody was a Hulk Hogan fan, or at least got into this business because of Hulk Hogan. It's crazy. It really is.
One more story that I'd like to share that I've heard about from actually from Dallas Page today. He was talking about how WCW wasn't using him. They weren't putting him on TV. They were just using him on a loop. It was a loop in Germany, and Hogan was on the loop and was watching him. And he came up to him one day and said, "Hey, brother, I see they're not using you on TV, but they've got you on these house shows, and I see like every time I see you, you got something new. You're improving a lot. So they put you on the road to craft your skills, right?" And Dallas said, "No, Hulk, they're not using me. Period. The only reason I'm on this loop is because my real shoot last name is Falkenberg. This is a German loop, and I got a hot ass wife coming down the ring with me. It's the only reason I'm on this fucking loop." And Hogan goes, "You what? Are you serious?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Nah, brother, that doesn't work. Me and you can do something big in the future. I can see you and me making big money in the future. Just keep doing what you're doing, because I see a lot in you." Wow. All right. Well, thanks, Hulk. You know, he wanted to leave at that point, and then I guess he was leaving to leave the building, and Hulk called him. He said, "Hey, Diamond, come here, brother." Okay. Well, what's up, Hulk? Goes into the locker room, and Hogan's there with Bischoff, and he tells Bischoff, "Hey, I know you and Dallas here are buddies, but you need to do something with him because he's money. And I think me and him can work something together. So you need to use him. Stop wasting him." Years later, Dallas Page and fucking, what is it? Karl Malone versus Rodman and Hogan.
Yeah.
He kept his word.
Yeah.
Got him in a main event program. He got his eyes. Like, that's a big deal, dude.
Yeah.
Got him on Jay Leno.
Lot of wrestlers are coming out saying that he did a lot for them. He discovered the Big Show. If it wasn't for Big Show, he wouldn't be in wrestling today. He said that, I guess.
Yeah, Hogan gave him the rub, huh? He gave and
he-
WCW. Hogan gave
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
He
it them
discovered-
two versus the Taskmaster and all of them in that one cage match that had like levels to it?
Yeah.
It was DDP and Hogan, right? Versus
No.
the dungeon.
It was
No, you're the Arquette match, I think.
no.
But
They
Hogan
had
and Giant did have a match.
Yeah, it was DDP and Hogan, right? Against the whole Dungeons of Doom or whatever they're called with
No.
Taskmaster.
No.
DDP never teamed up with Hogan against Dungeons of Doom.
No,
No,
it was
that
with
was early.
Hogan that he teamed up with.
I don't think that DDP never teamed with Hogan against the Dungeons of Doom.
No,
I
Hogan
don't
was,
think,
like,
I don't think,
mostly
I
on
don't
his own
think
against
Diamond
Dungeons.
was wrestling at that time. I think he was still managing. Yeah, there's a
I
lot.
thought he was.
DiBiase
No,
came
I
out and
think
said that
he was
it
still
was.
I think he still had his Diamond Stud stable at that time.
Mm-hmm.
He was just managing all.
Oh no, he became more of a face when he NWO.
Oh yeah, that whole NWO run made fucking Dallas Page, 100%.
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time.
Like you had Sting, but you also had Diamond Dallas Page on the exact opposite side. Dallas
Yeah.
Page was the one guy that never went to the NWO.
Yep.
Dallas Page was the antithesis of WCW because Sting eventually went to Wolfpack.
Yep.
And
Scott
he did
Hall.
join the
Scott
NWO
Hall
for
wanted.
like a week or two.
Nope, Scott Hall wanted him to join, and Diamond Dallas Page said no. He goes, "I'm good. I'm good." And that says a lot because everybody was jumping NWO. Scott Steiner,
Yeah.
Buff Bag. I mean, at one point, I think there were 20 members in the ring at all times. Everybody was NWO.
Yeah.
Even referees were getting involved.
Dude, they made Dusty Rhodes
Dusty
into a
Rhodes
heel for
got
the
it.
NWO. Nick
NWO was
Patrick.
cool.
They're
Nick Patrick, yeah.
own referee.
Bret Hart. A lot of, everybody. You basically that group was just too fucking badass.
That was the end already when
That was
Brett joined.
NWO 2000.
2000 with Jeff Hart. Jeff Hart. Fucking Jeff Jarrett. Kevin Nash.
Jeff
And
Jarrett,
Scott Steiner.
brothers,
It's
Juan
crazy.
and Don.
It's crazy. What was your favorite moments of his wrestling
Well,
career? Rock?
Early Hogan, I loved him with Beefcake. I loved the Mega Maniacs. I think they were the Mega Maniacs. Were they? Yeah, they were the Mega Maniacs because Mega Powers was with him in
Macho.
But yeah, I loved the feud they had with Money Inc. at that time. I was really big into tag teams, like in the early 90s. I loved all the tag teams. I loved the Hart Foundation. I loved the Mega Maniacs. Even though Hart Foundation wasn't at that time, they had you had Money Inc., Natural Disasters, Beverly Brothers, Steiners, Head Shrinkers. Tag team division was deep back then, and for Hogan to go in the tag division was cool. This is different, and I know he had that relationship with Brutus Beefcake for those years and years. I was like his right hand man. So I was cool to see Hogan back in the day in a tag team with Beefcake. A little disappointed they never won the belts. I thought for sure they were winning the belts at WrestleMania 9 against Money Inc. And then it didn't happen. I'm like, oh, that's weird. Okay, Hogan loses a match, and then we find out what happened at the end of the night. But that, and then the NWO, because the NWO was just fucking dope. It was completely different from anything we'd ever seen from Hogan before. He tried. It wasn't a heel run, but when he originally went to the black attire and shaved off his mustache, they tried to make Hogan a darker character, and it didn't work because it was very goofy with the Dungeon of Doom. But they finally found that edgy character for Hogan, and he completely changed his character and reinvented himself.
Yeah.
And made himself even more of a star. You know? And he got way more people over. As much as people want to say, Hogan never put anybody over. Hogan was a gatekeeper. Hogan never fucking did anything. He buried everybody. That's not fucking true, bro.
He did business.
Like, beyond Hogan wants to win a match, but it's not always about winning a match and winning a title. You know how much he helped these guys behind the scenes. How much Hogan being in the main event gave these guys that payday.
Yeah.
To be able to have these lavish lifestyles, to be able to continue their career. You know, Hogan was the guy putting asses in seats. So for as much as people want to say, oh, Hogan buried everybody. Well, if he buried so many fucking people, why are there so many people coming out right now saying Hogan did this for me? Hogan did that for me. Hogan was a fucking friend to me outside of wrestling, you know? So it's interesting that people want to keep staying on harping on the whole Hogan buried everybody.
He brought up a lot of talent. Look what he did for Sting. Putting him over at Starrcade. Made him, I mean, obviously Sting was a homegrown WCW guy. But I think putting him over, especially at that time when the NWO was just basically demolishing every talent, for him to go over when all the wrestlers went to the ring and hoisted him up on their shoulders. I mean, he put Sting over, you know, and Sting thanked him for that because Sting thanked him. There's like I said, numerous wrestlers thanked him on social media. There's just so many to go through. But yeah, I mean, he did business.
Stone Cold did. Stone Cold. Stone Cold's thank you on his Instagram. It's pretty good. If you guys got to see that, he left a good message saying like kind of things we say already, but he was a Hulkamaniac too.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there, you know, like it's crazy. He was and will always be. He is wrestling.
And Chris, your favorite memories of Hulk Hogan? Your favorite memory moments?
Too many. I would always have. I'm always gonna have to go back to when he slammed Andre, even though he did it before, but he never did on that grand stage. Him and Warrior,
93,000.
93,000.
93,000 people.
Well, the slam heard around the world. Ultimate Warrior, his matches with Macho Man in WWE and WCW. Shit, obviously WO. Even his movie career, you know, like I followed that dude wherever he went. Fucking, I remember watching Mr. Nanny. That was a stupid ass movie, but guess what? It drew money. I remember Thunder in Paradise. I watched it. That was a badass. And you know, that's the reason why.
I watched that.
Yep, Thunder in Paradise. I remember they were saying that WCW, it was right next to the lot they were filming. And that's the reason why they went over there. And they're like, hey, would you be interested in coming back to wrestling? Eric Bischoff got him on the set of Thunder in Paradise. So, you know,
is that why they call WCW Thunder?
I don't think so.
Pretty good. I don't think so. Pretty good mix, though. Pretty good comparison. But yeah, I mean, it's just, from the very beginning to the very end. I mean, that's who wrestling is. That's who my guy was. And I don't think, obviously, we have our seconds, our third. I'm always going to say Brett, The Undertaker, but I'll always go back. Hogan was number one for me, and will always will be.
Even racist Hogan.
I'm going to say he made mistakes. It's
I like
crazy.
porno Hogan. I jerked to it. I jerked off to it. At least I have that on you guys. I jerked off to Hogan. No, but for real, I didn't really give a wrestling moment. My wrestling moment really I liked is when Undertaker made him bleed green. Hogan. Or was that? Wait, that was a Warrior.
That was
no, that was
Shango.
Warrior. Oh no, was it? No, that was Warrior, right?
Yeah, Warrior.
Made Warrior. Shit, I got it all
made Warrior.
I got it all. I'm sorry. I got fucking Warrior mixed up with Hogan. They're both dead.
Green. I was like,
shit, I forgot about that. That was Warrior. God damn it.
Made him puke that green shit off the apron.
Let me see my best moment with Hogan. He beat up the Mexicans, sprayed yellow on everyone's back. That was my favorite Hogan moment.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's about it. But yeah, man, I'm really happy for him. I'm really happy that he's getting closure in his career. It sucks that he had for him to die for him to get his flowers.
Yeah.
Because the last time we saw him on Raw,
he got booed out of the arena. Yep.
Out of the
yeah, in LA too. So it's like shit.
That's crazy.
That was crazy.
Probably because of his Trump relationship, which was stupid. Like, you're gonna fucking hate on Hogan just because he's endorsing Trump. Nobody was really. I think people were over the racism shit at that point.
Everyone fucking endorsed Trump his second term.
Yeah,
like Rogan, Elon Musk.
I think it was just another reason just to be assholes to Hogan.
Yeah. But I think WWE set him up there.
I don't think they knew. I don't think the WWE really honestly thought that was going to happen.
I don't think they know.
Hogan didn't.
Yeah, because
you don't think so?
Everywhere he goes, he gets a pop. Everywhere, it doesn't matter from what fucking. He will always get a pop, and that was the first time ever.
Hey, where were they on SmackDown? They're respectful.
Yeah, a lot of cheers, a lot of thank you, Hogan.
Oh, they were in Ohio, right? They're in Ohio.
The last SmackDown,
where they were.
I think so.
Yeah, Logan Paul's hometown. Cleveland.
Yeah,
they're in Ohio. Oh, that's white as fuck.
Any last words about the immortal Hulk Hogan here, guys?
Shit. You know what, brother? That's it. You know what, brother? Give me your best Hogan. Come on, before we end the Hogan segment. Let's go, Brock.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. I've been to the top and I've been to the peak of the mountain. And there's one thing I know, is that the Wrestling Junkeez will always be on top, brother. So what you gonna do when Junkamania runs wild on you, brother?
You sound
there you go.
But
let's go,
good.
Chris.
I don't think nobody could ever duplicate that bad. But, one thing I want to say is thank you. Thank you for fucking an amazing fucking childhood, because obviously we all had our shit. We had Ninja Turtles. We had Transformers. You could name everything. However, like I said, Hulk Hogan, without him, I guarantee we wouldn't have this. We wouldn't be talking about it today. I just want to say thank you as a fan. I really appreciated all the business you did back then, from your toys to your fucking cartoons. I mean, everything. It was a good time to be a wrestling fan, and he is the reason why I love the professional sport of wrestling today.
Oh, yeah.
That being said, thank you, everybody, for joining us on this episode of the Wrestling Junkeez podcast, as we explored the life and times and the career of the great, immortal, the icon, Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Terry Bollea. Thank you, everybody. Rest in peace, Hulk Hogan. Stay tuned for the next episode, and long live Hulkamania.
Check us out, brother.
Yeah, brother.
Hulkamania will live
Yeah, brother.
forever.
Forever.